I want you to picture the ultimate consumer product. It's not a phone, it's not a car, and it's not a vacation. It's a rock.
Just a rock.
Just a rock. But it's a rock that you slide under your pillow, and for 8 hours, it completely rewrites your brain chemistry. You buy it off a shelf, you go to sleep, and you're guaranteed, absolutely guaranteed to fly over the Andes or conduct a symphony or, I don't know, relive a memory that you lost 20 years ago.
And there are no wires, no implants, no clunky VR headsets that you have to strap to your face.
None of that. Just a smooth, glittering crystal.
It's the Dreamstone. And it really is. I mean, it's the perfect commodification of the human experience. We spend a third of our lives unconscious, right? So it was only a matter of time before capitalism found a way to monetize all that downtime.
Right. Why just sleep when you can be entertained?
Why just sleep when you can buy an experience?
It's basically the subscription model applied to your M cycle.
Yeah.
But the reason we are talking about this today is because we are doing a deep dive into the novel Doctor Who Dreamstone Moon by Paul Leonard. And while that premise sounds like something out of a utopian brochure, the reality in this book is, well, it's pretty horrific.
Horrific is definitely the right word. This is not a lighthearted space romp, not at all. It's a very gritty, almost industrial sci-fi mystery.
It feels very grounded.
Very. It draws heavily on corporate satire, ecological horror, and this very visceral sense of physical survival. It's asking a pretty fundamental question. If you were buying a dream, who or what is paying the price for it?
That is the core tension of the whole thing. And the setting here is so crucial to understanding that cost. We aren't on some lush paradise planet.
No, not even close. We are on Mukamalapades VI, which everyone just calls Dreamstone Moon.
And it's about as bleak as a place can get.
It's a small moon, totally airless, low gravity. It's essentially a rock floating in a vacuum, a big dead rock, or so they think.
But it is the only known source of these dreamstones. So, of course, an outfit called the Dreamstone Moon Mining Company, the DMMC, has descended upon it like a swarm of locusts.
I love that description because they are locusts.
The way the book portrays the DMMC is so banal. They aren't these cackling, mustache-twirling villains.
No, they're just efficient. They're strip miners with quarterly reports and profit margins. They are turning this moon inside out simply to feed the market demand.
But as we're going to dig into, this dead rock isn't quite as dead as their geological surveys might suggest.
And that, right there, is where the horror really begins. But before we get to the monsters, I think we have to look at the economy that creates them. We have to talk about Anton Serre.
Anton. He's such a fascinatingly pathetic character to start with. He's a dream artist, which sounds incredibly glamorous, but in the context of the book, he's basically a starving creative.
He's on the verge of being obsolete. He works with the old technology, BELs, or bioelectric connections.
So what are BELs exactly? Are they like implants?
Think of BELs like vinyl records, or maybe a better analogy is VHS tapes. It's the analog version of the dream tech. It involves hardware, wires, jacks in your head. It's very gritty, old-school cyberpunk tech.
Right. Messy.
Very messy. But the world has moved on. Everyone wants the Dreamstones, which are wireless, sleek, and feel organic. So Anton is sitting there trying to sell high-fidelity audio to a generation that just wants to stream music on their phones.
And there's a scene early on that just paints this perfect picture of his desperation. He's trying to use this antique recording device, the Dictacom 400, to record his diary. And it is just a comedy of errors.
It's a brilliant bit of character work. He can't afford a modern computer, so he's using this piece of junk that writes with laser etching in the air, but the voice recognition is just terrible.
So he's trying to dictate these really profound artistic thoughts about his financial ruin and the death of his art form.
And the machine is just writing complete gibberish. It misunderstands every other word.
It's funny, but it's also so claustrophobic. You can feel him trapped in his apartment, completely broke, in debt to his girlfriend Jono, and he just feels the entire industry leaving him behind.
And that desperation, that's what drives him to do something incredibly stupid.
He goes out and buys a dreamstone.
He frames it as research, of course. He wants to prove that this new tech is inferior, that it lacks the soul of his handcrafted bioelectric art.
He's trying to justify it to himself.
Exactly. So he buys a cheap one, a yellow stone with blue specks.
And this is where the tone of the book just shifts violently. He puts this pretty little rock under his pillow, and he's expecting some, generic fantasy, a flight of fancy.
Instead, the book describes it as a psychic assault. It's not even a visual dream. It's a sound. It's a voice screaming in his head.
Just a voice.
A child's voice screaming, "Mommy, the monsters are here!"
Chilling.
It's just absolute primal terror. It wakes him up instantly, but the feeling doesn't go away. It's pure panic distilled into a recording.
What I found really interesting is the physical state of the stone after he uses it. The text describes it as dead.
Yeah, it turns into this dull, gray lump.
It's like a battery that just discharged all its energy in one single terrifying scream.
That is such a critical clue for later. These stones aren't just storage devices, they're consumable. They literally burn out.
So Anton, being desperate and, frankly, unsatisfied, he takes it back to the shop. He wants a refund.
And this is our introduction to the Zimem. The alien species descriptions in this book are just fantastic. The Zimem are insectoid, they're wasp-striped chitinous creatures.
And they're the perfect bureaucrats. The dealer has this translator that makes him sound incredibly weary and official.
Totally bored with it all. He essentially tells Anton, caveat emptor. You bought the ticket, you took the ride.
No refunds on nightmares.
Exactly. But then the conversation takes this really dark turn. The dealer starts to realize that Anton isn't just complaining like a normal customer. He's genuinely shaken. He had a visceral reaction to the terror.
And the dealer hints that, well, there's a market for that.
This is the snuff market. It's the reveal that some people don't want to fly or see beautiful art. Some people want to feel intense pain or fear, but from the safety of their own beds.
The dealer thinks Anton is a junkie looking for a new kind of fix.
And Anton, he leans into it. This is such a crucial character moment. A normal person would just run away, horrified.
But not Anton. He sees an opportunity.
He thinks, if I can prove there are dangerous black market stones circulating, I can destroy the reputation of the whole Dreamstone company and maybe save my own career.
It's incredibly selfish, but it makes a twisted kind of sense for him. He's desperate. So he goes to a place called Downtown, which is this seedy canyon slum area of the city.
And he finds a black market dealer, another ZMM, but this one is sick, bloated, living in absolute filth.
The atmosphere in the scene is just thick. You can almost smell the ozone and this strange alien biology. And Anton, he buys 5 of these bad stones.
But the deal goes wrong. The dealer gets aggressive. Maybe he tries to rob Anton back. It's not entirely clear.
And Anton just snaps. He's a weak man, physically and emotionally, but that fear makes him dangerous. He swings the bag of stones, which are basically heavy rocks, and he smashes the alien's head.
The sound design in the text here is just gross. It's not a thud, it's a crack and then a hiss. The alien deflates.
Which goes back to the biology again.
Exactly. Insects rely on internal pressure. He cracks the carapace, and the creature just dies. And Anton Serre, the sensitive artist, is now a killer.
But instead of going to the police, he runs. He realizes that to really blow the lid off this thing, he can't just have the stones.
He needs to know where they come from. He has to go to the source.
He has to go to the moon.
So that launches his whole investigation plot. But while Anton is spiraling down this dark path, we have to talk about Sam Jones. Because if Anton is in a psychological horror movie, Sam is in a straight-up survival horror movie.
Sam is, of course, the doctor's companion, but the author does something really smart here and separates her from the doctor immediately. She is stranded on a derelict freighter belonging to an alien species called the Cusk.
And we absolutely need to talk about the sensory details of this Cusk ship because it is just nauseating. The Cusk are giant slugs, right?
Giant invertebrate slugs.
Yeah.
And their technology is a complete reflection of their biology. So the gravity on the ship is cranked up way past Earth normal.
Because the Cusk are these huge, heavy creatures.
So poor Sam is just walking around weighing almost twice as much as she should. Every single step is a workout.
Yeah.
But it's the floor that really got me. The text says it's sticky.
Organic and sticky. Sam describes it like walking on melted mozzarella cheese. Can you imagine that sensation?
No, it's horrible.
Your boots sticking with every single step, the floor kind of yielding slightly under your weight, all while you are heavy and completely exhausted. It's a tactile nightmare.
And on top of that, she's starving. She's been on this ship for days. The only food available is from these dispensers.
The eggs, these gelatinous spheres that are apparently designed for slug digestion.
She describes the taste as vomit-like, but she has to eat them. She has to force them down her throat just to keep her energy up.
I think this really grounds the story in a way a lot of sci-fi doesn't. Usually in Doctor Who, the companions just get captured and they wait to be rescued.
Right, they sit in a cell.
But Sam is actively fighting for her life against the environment itself. The ship is trying to kill her.
And the isolation is just absolute. She's staring at the navigation console, but it's not a screen. It's some kind of biological interface.
It looks like a jellyfish strung up on wires.
That image is so specific and weird. A dead jellyfish that just twitches to show you the ship's coordinates. It really emphasizes how alien this place is. She does not belong there.
So when she finally sees another ship on the sensors, a DMMC mining vessel, she thinks her ordeal is finally over. She signals them. She drags her exhausted, heavy body to the comms panel.
But the DMMC ship doesn't answer her. Instead, they fire on the freighter.
It's left ambiguous whether they thought the derelict was some kind of threat or if they just didn't care enough to check. But the hull breaches. The air just gets sucked out.
And Sam is thrown into the vacuum.
This should be the end for her. She's floating in space, freezing, suffocating, and then she sees the monster.
Right. In her delirious dying state, she sees a giant beak, a huge eye, and all these tentacles reaching for her.
She thinks, great, I survived the vomit eggs and the sticky floor just to be eaten by a giant space squid.
But this is the big subversion. The tentacles wrap around her, but they don't crush her. They actually force air into her lungs. The monster is giving her CPR.
This is Eloise. She is a Krakenite, and she looks terrifying, a massive, squid-like, bipedal alien. But she is actually wearing a customized spacesuit. She saves Sam's life.
She drags her into the airlock of the mining ship and effectively rescues her when the humans on that same ship wouldn't even answer her distress call.
Eloise is such a great character. She has this voice that's described as sounding like logs rolling down a hill. It's deep and rumbling. But she's incredibly gentle and moral.
She's not a miner.
No, she's a stowaway. She's a political protester.
And this brings us right into the sociological conflict happening on the moon base. You have the DMMC administration, who are represented by a man named Errol Titan. He's the mine-over manager.
And he wears a suit made of woven grass, which is this great little detail. It's a status symbol in this universe showing he's connected to luxury and, planets with actual biospheres.
He's slick. He just wants the quota filled no matter what.
Uh.
Then you have the workers, the miners, like a guy named Daniel O'Ryan. They're just regular guys trying to make a living in a really hazardous environment.
And then you have the third faction, the rubble dump camp, where the protesters live.
Sam is thrown right into the middle of this mix. Titan, the manager, wants to deport her immediately because she's an unauthorized variable. She's a complication.
But Eloise, the Krakenite who saved her, wants to recruit her to the cause. And because Eloise saved her life, Sam feels this immense debt. She chooses to go with the aliens.
This choice is a huge turning point for her. It takes her out of the shiny, sterile corporate domes and into the filth and grit of the protest camp.
And this is where we finally start to learn about the ecology of the moon, because Eloise makes this incredible claim that this vacuum rock is actually alive.
This is where the hard sci-fi elements really kick in. Usually, we think of life as requiring an atmosphere, water, all of that.
But Eloise shows Sam a plant, and it's called an exanaxi.
But it's not a green, leaky plant like we'd imagine. It's crystalline.
That's right. It's built from diamond and bucky tubes.
Okay, so for the listener, we should probably clarify, bucky tubes are carbon nanotubes, right?
Exactly. They are these super strong carbon structures. In a vacuum, a normal plant would just explode or wither instantly. But a diamond lattice can withstand that extreme pressure differential.
And it doesn't breathe air.
No. It waits for the rock to crack and release gas, a process called outgassing, and it metabolizes that gas for energy.
So the theory here is that the moon has a completely unique, vacuum-based ecosystem. It's a living silicon-carbon hybrid world. The life forms aren't just sitting on top of the rock.
They are part of the rock structure itself.
And the protesters are trying to stop the mining because the mining is destroying this incredibly fragile, unique ecosystem. To the DMMC, it's all just ore to be processed.
But to the protesters, it's genocide.
The protesters aren't just sitting around singing songs either. They are active saboteurs. And this introduces us to the Kekeks.
The Arachnons, Kekik 1 and Kekik 2.
I honestly love these two characters. They are, for all intents and purposes, giant spiders.
Yeah.
And they are identical twins.
They provide some much-needed levity in a very grim story. They have this running joke about their species' mating habits.
Apparently, in Arachnon culture, the female eats the male after mating.
And they are so incredibly casual about it. They tell Sam, it's a beautiful life. One of us gets to raise the children and the other one gets to be dinner. It's this very dark biological humor that really, really works.
It totally humanizes them. Or spiderizes them.
Which, of course, makes their fate so much worse.
All right, so Sam is out on a mission with them. They are using these huge bulldozers to sabotage a DMMC mining site. Sam is actually driving one of the bulldozers, which is just a great image. She's really committing to the cause now.
But then they uncover a tunnel.
And in a strip mine, you expect to find solid rock. A tunnel implies that something dug it, or that something lives in there.
The radios go dead. There's a scream over the comms. Sam, being Sam, jumps down into the pit to try and help them. Again, she's just incredibly brave here.
But when she gets to the bottom of the pit, there are no spiders.
There's just a broken spacesuit and Pulp dies.
It's a brutal, violent, and sudden end. And then Sam sees the killer. It's a massive creature. It's tentacled. It's lurking in the shadows. And to her, it looks exactly like a Krakenite. It looks just like Alois.
This sows so much doubt in her mind. She starts thinking, wait a minute, are the protesters really protecting the environment, or are they protecting their own hungry cousins who live underground?
It adds this whole layer of paranoia to her story. Sam doesn't know who to trust anymore. The humans want to deport her, and her alien savior might be part of a species that eats people.
While Sam is having this complete crisis of faith, the doctor finally arrives on the moon. He's been looking for her, of course, but as usual, he gets immediately distracted by a good mystery.
He teams up with Daniel Orion, the miner we met earlier. Daniel is really the moral center of the human workforce. His best friend, a man named Matthew O'Connell, died recently in what the company called a cave-in.
The company hushed it up very quickly, but Daniel knows it's suspicious. He knows something isn't right.
And the doctor loves a good cover-up. There is this classic Doctor Who scene where they need to break into the secure sector of the mine to find evidence, and it's guarded by a Basidian.
A cat-like alien guard. Very tall and imposing.
And the doctor's brilliant strategy is jelly babies.
It's just classic misdirection.
Yeah.
He walks up to this heavily armed guard and just starts babbling about sexual dimorphism and biology. He confuses the guard so thoroughly with a nonsense trivia and offers of sugar that he and Daniel just walk right past him while he's distracted.
It's a funny moment, but it also serves a real narrative purpose.
Yeah.
It shows that the military and the security forces on this base are rigid. They're inflexible. They can't handle chaos.
And the doctor is chaos.
Once they're inside, the tone drops again. It gets serious. They find the site of the accident. And they find a biological sample. It's a severed tentacle.
Daniel sees it and he immediately says, "See? I told you. It's the aliens. It's a Krakenite tentacle."
But the doctor, he takes it to a lab. He gets it under a microscope. And this right here is the pivot point of the entire novel. This is the big reveal.
What does he see?
He sees that the tissue, it isn't just flesh. It has the crystalline structure of dreamstone embedded within it.
And it possesses neural pathways.
Wait, let's just make sure we really land this. The dreamstones, the very things people are putting under their pillows back on Earth, are effectively nerve clusters.
Yes. The tentacle isn't holding a stone. The tentacle is stone. The doctor realizes that the creatures living inside the moon, these silicon-carbon hybrids, are the living source of the dreamstones.
So when the DMMC mines the moon?
They are performing a lobotomy. They are literally hacking off chunks of a living, sentient neural network. The moon isn't just a rock with some bugs in it. The moon might be a single, massive, planet-sized entity, or at the very least, a planet-sized hive mind.
That completely recontextualizes the nightmares. If someone came at you with a pickaxe and started hacking off your nerve endings, you would scream.
And that scream is being recorded psychically into the crystal structure of your own body, the bad dreams that Anton experienced. That was the psychic scream of a being in agony.
That is just, it's horrifying. We are mining pain and selling it as entertainment.
Precisely. It turns the consumer satire into full-blown body horror.
And just as the doctor figures all this out, the hammer comes down. Enter Captain Cleomides.
Cleomides is the antagonist of the story, but she's a sympathetic one in a really twisted way. She represents military trauma. She's a veteran of the Dalek Wars.
But she basically has extreme PTSD.
She has an extreme xenophobia that was born from her experience. To her, anything alien is a potential threat to Earth. She doesn't care about the ecosystem. She doesn't care about the DMMC's profit margins. She sees the Doctor, a Time Lord, an alien, and she immediately assumes he is a saboteur coordinating an attack.
And she arrests him on the spot.
So now the Doctor is locked in a cell, Sam is traumatized and questioning her allies, and Anton, our failed artist, finally makes it to the moon, and he teams up with a woman named Inel.
Inel is a wildcatter. What does that mean in this economy?
It means she's an illegal, independent miner. She's a cocktail waitress by day, but at night she puts on a spacesuit and goes digging in unauthorized, unmapped tunnels, hoping to find a pure vein of dreamstone she can sell on the black market.
Anton hires her to take him deep into the moon. He wants to find pure dreamstone. He wants to touch the source.
And this whole sequence is just pure claustrophobia. They are crawling through these hand-dug, unmapped tunnels. There are no safety protocols, no support beams.
And Anton finds a vein of raw dreamstone in the wall. And he touches it. He touches it with his bare hand, or at least through the thin material of his glove.
And the stone talks to him again.
"Mommy, help me."
But this time, it's not a recording. It's a live broadcast. The psychic backlash is so strong, it physically knocks him down.
And then the ground opens up. A quake hits their little tunnel.
Tentacles burst from the rock. And Enel, who up to this point has been portrayed as tough, capable, a real survivor, is dragged down into the dark instantly. Gone.
Anton is left all alone. And there's this detail here that I really appreciated for its realism. He vomits inside his helmet.
It's so disgusting, but it's realistic. If you panic in a spacesuit, there is nowhere for it to go. So now he is blind, choking on his own sick, and absolutely terrified.
But the creature doesn't kill him.
No. And this connects all the way back to his first experience with the Nightmare Stone. The creature, this massive silicon kraken, it senses that Anton can hear it. He can receive its psychic signal. He becomes a conduit. He bonds with it.
When the rescue teams find him later, he's totally insane. He's just raving. He says, "The monster is my friend, and I called them."
He believes he's the prophet of the moon. He thinks he somehow summoned the monsters to punish the miners. And in a strange way, he's the only human who actually has a real relationship with the planet, even if it completely broke his mind.
So as all of this is happening, the moon itself starts shaking apart. Alois explains to Sam that it's outgassing.
The mining has punched too many holes in the moon's crust. The internal gases that the ecosystem relies on are venting out into space. The planet is literally deflating.
And as it dies, its immune system wakes up.
And the immune system has a name. The ecological.
These are different from the tentacle monsters in the tunnels, right?
Completely different. These are biological tanks. They're described as looking like steel millipedes. And they have natural gun ports that fire pressurized peroxide.
They are literal war machines grown by the planet to defend itself.
There's this great tense battle scene on the surface involving Sam, Alois, and a reporter character named Jess. And Ixcalix attacks them. Jess, one of the protesters, manages to shoot it.
And it explodes.
Right, because its internal chemistry is so volatile, it's a walking bomb. And this proves to the characters that this isn't just a natural disaster or a tragedy, it's a war. The planet is actively fighting back.
The escalation from here is just so rapid. Cleomides sees the monsters on her scanners and decides this confirms all her fears. She decides to execute the doctor.
She goes to a cell, gun in hand, ready to just end it.
This is Daniel's big moment. He's been the passive observer, the good soldier, just trying to get by. But he sees this horrible injustice about to happen, and he tackles Cleomides. He saves the doctor's life.
But the gun goes off, and it blows a hole in the station wall.
Chaos erupts. And in that moment, a massive quake hits the main base. The canteen collapses.
This is the disaster movie portion of the book. The roof comes down on hundreds of people, miners, soldiers, administrators. The doctor and Daniel have to force the military to let them dig for survivors.
But Sam tries to be a hero too. And this is the part of the book that really stuck with me. It's the death of Madge, the reporter.
It's a heartbreaking sequence because it hinges entirely on physics. Sam and Madge find Alois trapped in a sealed room. They think she's running out of air.
They can see her through the little window in the door, so they grab a power cutter. They start cutting through the door thinking they are the rescue squad.
But they don't check the pressure sensors. The room Alois is in has been vacuum sealed. The corridor they are standing in is still pressurized.
So the moment they cut through that last bit of metal,
Explosive decompression. The door blows inward with the force of a bomb.
and the text describes Madge getting hit by the door, her helmet visor shatters. And because they are now in a vacuum, her blood, it boils.
It's an instant, gruesome death. And the absolute tragedy of it is, Alois didn't even need saving. As a Krakenite, she can hold her breath and withstand a vacuum for a very long time. She was just waiting for the situation to stabilize.
So Sam's attempt to be a hero directly caused Madge's death.
It completely destroys Sam. She realizes that good intentions without knowledge are incredibly dangerous. It's a brutal, brutal lesson for a companion to have to learn.
The base is now just disintegrating around them, and the military starts segregating the refugees humans on the evacuation shuttles. Aliens are told to wait.
It's the complete breakdown of social order. Fear makes them tribal.
And then we get to the finale, the awakening. The roof of the main dome rips off entirely. Sam looks up, expecting to see black space, but instead she sees jewels.
It's a beautiful, terrifying image. The jewels are millions of dreamstones and other crystal shards that have been blown into orbit by the outgassing. The sky is literally glittering with the debris of the planet's brain.
And then the ground opens up. The book calls it a giant mouth.
And the monsters, the physical manifestations of all those nightmares, they just swarm out. The planet isn't just waking up, it's screaming.
The doctor is on a crumbling walkway above the chaos, trying to shout instructions to Sam, but the soldiers are still shooting at him.
Even at the literal end of the world, humans are holding on to their prejudices. They would rather shoot the one alien who is trying to save them than deal with the reality of what they've done.
And that is where the source material leaves us. Sam running for her life, the doctor missing and presumed shot, the moon devouring the base. It's a massive cliffhanger.
It is, but the thematic conclusion is crystal clear, I think.
So let's synthesize all of this. We started with a simple dream on a pillow. We ended with a full-blown apocalypse. What is the core takeaway here?
I think it's about the hidden costs of consumption. We live in a world where we expect these seamless, magical experiences. We want the iPhone, we want the cheap flight, we want the perfect dream delivered to our door. We rarely, if ever, look at the supply chain.
And in this case, the supply chain was a living god.
Exactly. We were lobotomizing a sentient entity just to distract ourselves from our own boredom. The nightmares weren't a bug in the system. They were the only honest communication the planet could make. It was just saying, stop hurting me.
And because we ignored it, because we labeled it as a product defect and created a niche market for it, we triggered an extinction event, our own.
It forces you, the listener, to ask, when we extract resources from the Earth, when we commodify the natural world, are we just moving matter around? Or are we actually hurting something? In Dreamstone Moon, the answer is terrifyingly literal. The planet hits back.
And looking at the characters, at Anton, at Madge, even the kicks, the human cost, the personal cost was just way too high.
Knowledge is valuable, but in this story, for most of them, it came far too late.
Well, that is a heavy note to end on, but a very necessary one. I don't think I'll be buying a Dreamstone anytime soon.
I think I'll stick to regular old insomnia, thanks.
That's it for this deep dive to Dreamstone Moon. Thanks for listening.
Keep thinking.